What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be a little bit different, and before we get started I just want to put it out there that I got this video idea from Josh. If you guys haven't seen his video, I'm going to link it down below. My car is actually in it, so make sure you guys go check it out. So pretty much what he did, he asked all of his followers to send in their Instagram handles and he would roast their cars. Now I'm not going to necessarily sit here and roast you guys' cars. I don't think I'm in the position to do that, but I think it'd be pretty cool to put some of your guys' builds on the channel. Since you guys always get to see ours, I think it'd be cool to kind of switch it up. I'm gonna put all of the pictures of the cars right around here. As you can see, this is Josh's car. He has a World Rally Blue Bug-Eye WRX, and the first thing that obviously stands out is how low this thing is to the ground. You think it's bagged, but it's not. It's completely static, and that's probably the reason this guy has broken like 40,000 Greddy lips. Starting with the front end, he has a carbon fiber hood. I'm always a fan of a carbon fiber hood. I think it looks really good, especially on World Rally Blue. And then I think he has JDM headlights there. He's got some carbon fiber fog covers or brake ducts, whatever you want to call them. And of course the Greddy lip. I think the Greddy lip is for sure the best looking lip that you can put on a Bug-Eye. And then he also has a splitter up front. There's two things on the front end that I don't like about this car. One of them being the splitter rods. I've never been a fan of these. I think they look really tacky. It also kind of takes away from the car. I feel like it almost looks like the car has like fangs coming down. I just don't like them. And then the other thing, and I know this is probably like a necessity, more than it is for looks, but the bumper to fender thing that he has on the side there right by the wheel where it holds the bumper and the fender together, I think that looks also really tacky. Not a fan of it, but overall the front end of this car is super aggressive. Of course he has the white wheels with the blue car. That always looks really good. Diego used to run that on his car, and I think it's probably one of the best combos out there. Moving on to the side here, I'm not sure what side skirts those are, but he's running some different side skirts, and then kind of like a side skirt extension that also looks really good. And then on the rear end, my favorite thing about this car has got to be those tail lights. I'm definitely thinking of getting some kind of like this for my car. They just look really, really nice. And then he also has a carbon fiber trunk. I also like how on the rear bumper you have like those spats that are color matched, and then you still have like an extended piece on the bottom of that. Overall, I think this car is really well balanced. Everything is equally as aggressive. So the front end is aggressive, side is aggressive, and then the rear end. I think that's the most important thing. You never want to have a car that's really aggressive like in the rear, and then you look at the front and it's like bone stock. And then the one thing on this car that I for sure can say I do not like at all, and I would completely get rid of, is that big ass wing that Josh has on the back. I think it's just too big, especially with those like blue end plates that you have. I don't know, I think it'd look a lot better if it just had like an STI wing or maybe even wingless, but I know it's all just preference. Overall, I think I'm gonna give this car an 8 out of 10. Next up, we have Fernando C with his Evo 10. First thing that caught my eye, of course, were the TE37s. I missed the ones that I have, probably one of my favorite wheels out there. And they actually look really, really good on Evos. It looks like the front end, maybe you have a lip on there or something. It's definitely lowered. Another thing I just don't like, those bumper to fender little clip things that hold them up. I know maybe you need them on there, but I don't like the way they look. Looks like you probably have an exhaust on there from what I can see, but really not much done to the car. That's the cool thing about Evos. You don't really have to do much to them for them to already look super clean and simple. But that's pretty much all I can see on this car, so I'll have to give it maybe like a 7 out of 10. Next up, we have the Kid DJ in his 2004 Rsx Type S. I really like the color of this car. That blue is really, really nice. I also like the rear wing. If I'm not mistaken, that might be like an OEM wing that comes on that car, but either way, that's a plus for sure. You have some RPF ones on there. The car isn't too lowered. These cars, in my opinion, have a lot of potential to look really, really sick. I've seen a couple that just look really, really nice. My brother actually has one of these kind of like this. His is an Acura, but it's not an RSX, and it's in red, but I really like these cars. I can't really see anything else done to this car, but it is really clean, so I'll give it a 7 out of 10. Next up, we have V2 Underscore Maven. This is different for sure. I've never been a Cadillac guy, but I did used to work with a guy that had something kind of similar to this, and they're pretty badass cars. They sound really nice. This one here looks like maybe you lowered it already and put some wheels on it. It does look really aggressive though. Like it has like that super wide stance. It looks like a big car. I can't really tell if that's like an OEM bumper or it's an aftermarket from bumper, but I like it for sure. It looks sick. This is definitely not my style of car at all, but I can definitely appreciate it. Next up, we have Rsx. This is actually a local guy from our hometown. He's also a barber. He cuts all of our hair, and this is probably one of the cleanest Audis that I have ever seen. This dude's always on those polls on Instagram, and he literally wins like all of them. And then he's always talking about how he wants to do more to this car, and that's like, how much more can you do to this thing? It's already like 100%. It's super sick. It's on bags. It has these huge 3-piece wheels. It's wrapped in this red color. I think the original color is black. The big old front grille up front just makes it look super aggressive. He also has, I think, like a front lip and a splitter. And I think this is the only car that I would give the pass to on those splitter rods. I think they really fit in with this car. I feel like on this one, it really just ties everything together. He also has a cargo box on top that sometimes he puts on and sometimes he takes off. That thing also looks really sick. On the rear end, he has kind of like a lip on the trunk. The only thing that I could see that he might need would be a diffuser for sure, just to match the front end. But I think overall this car, I'd have to give it a 10 out of 10 for sure. Next up, we have Just Subie, and this car has definitely caught my eye. It's been going around on all of the Subaru Instagram pages. This car is actually really sick. So I believe on the rear end, he has a Voltex wide body, and then on the front he has the M Sports wide body kit, which is the kit that I'm going to be running on my car. So this car has like really inspired me. Obviously I love the front end. He has the M Sports front bumper and the front carbon lip. He has a carbon fiber hood scoop. The headlights, I love those. I think they're the JDM ones. They're so simple, but I think they definitely look the best. Obviously he has the M Sport wide body front fenders. And then I think he actually has the same wheels that I have. So it's pretty cool to see this thing. I think those might be Voltex side skirts with the Voltex rear wide body fenders. In the rear he has, I think, Illumisthetic taillights, which are also really sick. And then he has a carbon fiber rear trunk with the big old duckbill. And then if I'm not mistaken, I think that might be a Charge Speed carbon fiber roof vane on the back. That's so sick, guys. Rear diffuser, I don't know exactly what that is, but I think it's like those RX-7 ones. I could be wrong, but overall this car is just insane. It looks super sick. The only thing that I would change on this car is the color. As you guys know, my car used to be silver. You guys already know I gotta give this car a 10 out of 10. Next up, we have Tony Espino and his Blaubai WRX. And cool thing about this car is he actually had a YouTube channel. He was like a smaller YouTuber, didn't have a lot of subscribers, but I would watch him. Like, I would actually enjoy his videos. He did a wide body car on his car, and I think he actually painted this thing too, like himself. So that's something that I can definitely respect. We'll start with the rear end on this car. I'm not a huge fan of that wing. I think it's just like a WRX wing with like the little extenders so you can make it taller. Not a huge fan of that. The wide body is really sick, but I'm not a fan of that specific one, but I think it came out good, dude. Like, for you doing it yourself, this thing came out solid for sure. I like the white on white combo, and then the front end you have those JDM multicolor fog lights. You know how much I love those. I think you could use maybe like a front lip up front, or maybe you do have one. Oh yeah, you do have one. I just couldn't see it in this picture, but that looks super sick. This car is really nice. I'm kind of sad to hear that I think he might be selling it. I'm not sure. I think he put it up for sale. I could be wrong, but overall I give this car an 8 out of 10. Next up, we have Manit with his 99 Subaru Impreza 2.5 RS, and this thing is so clean, guys. I think he got it with like a bunch of rust and stuff, and then he did like a wide body on it. He didn't like it, so he got a new one, and then he sent it out to a shop where they completely fixed all of the rust and they installed the new wide body kit. So this thing looks mint. It's like 100% back to life. It looks so sick, dude. I was so hyped when I saw that it came out of paint and everything went well on it. It looks really, really nice. Literally looks like a 22B. Even though you've done so much to your car, dude, I feel like you're just starting out. The one thing that I would change on this car is definitely the wheels. Not a huge fan of those on this car, but I think either way the car looks really good, and I can't wait to see what you do with it. I'm gonna give this car a 9 out of 10. And finally, guys, our last one for today is gonna be Boring Bug-Eye and his World Rally Blue Bug-Eye WRX. Doesn't look like there's a ton of things done to this car. That front lip is really sick. I also like the wheels. The wheels are really nice. I think I've always liked kind of like that stance type of vibe on Bug-Eyes. Not completely like cambered out or anything crazy like that, but I feel like Bug-Eyes, for some reason, they pull off that stance look a little better than any other GD Subie. I do think that you could maybe lower it just a little more to get rid of that wheel gap, and then it looks like you have some sort of like paint matched duckbill on the back there. But overall, it's really nice. I actually really like this car. I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. Sorry if we didn't get to your car in this video, but if you enjoyed this today, make sure you leave a comment down below and let us know. That way we can do like a part 2 or something. But I really enjoyed it. It was cool to see your guys' builds, and like I said, kind of switch it up and show your guys' builds on the channel rather than our builds. Also guys, I really hope none of you guys took offense to my ratings. At the end of the day, they don't mean anything, and it's all preference and what you like with your builds. Everyone's different and everyone has their own unique style. But anyways, that's gonna do it for today. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure you give it a thumbs up. Catch you next time.